Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Emily and today I have my February TBR. So I won't be doing my TBR game. I'm just not happy with the way it's going, and I have just been wanting to kind of mood read, and I haven't been allowing myself to do that because I've been wanting to try and follow my TBR game, and it was just causing me too much stress, and I don't want reading to be stressful. So let's get into it. First, I want to talk about some readathons that are going on this month. First, I have Polarthon, which is hosted by jadeyraereads, and that runs from the 7th to the 13th, I believe. And I have the path I'm going to be taking. I am going to be a part of the Arctic animals. And it took me a while, but I found some books that I think will work for this. So the first one is Cozy Vibes, and for that one I'm going to go with A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Kemmerer. This is, I believe, a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and I find that retellings are cozy and Beauty and the Beast cozy, so that one's going to go in for this prompt. I don't know really anything other than that it's a Beauty and the Beast retelling, although I think it might be a portal fantasy. And I think the main character might be disabled. So next is Snowy Cover. So I have a couple that could go for this, but I think For the Wolf can go for this. Again, another retelling. I don't know if it's like Little Red Riding Hood or Beauty and the Beast, but it has a pretty snowy cover. So next is Animal Friend. Now, I had For the Wolf for this, I think, actually. Okay, yeah. So, the snowy cover, I have Havenfall, which it's pushing it a little bit, but we're going to go with it. So, I have Havenfall for the snowy cover, and then Animal Friend is For the Wolf. So, that's good. Havenfall, I think it's like a bunch of doorways that go to these different places. Except for this one. I don't know. Something with these doorways to these places, and I don't know if there's like a meeting that's going on and something, chaos ensues or what, but I really want to get to that one because I think it's only a duology, and I've been really interested in it. Next, we have Arctic Setting. For that one, I'm going to read Crave by Tracy Wolff, I believe it is. It's set in Alaska, I believe. So, Arctic, I'm going with it. I have this on audiobook too, so I really want to get to it. I've heard a lot of good things about this, and the cover just reminds me of, you know, the Twilight series, and I'm just here for it. So finally, when you get to the top of the little mountain on the graphic, Polar Fantasy is the last prompt. And for that, I'm going to read A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J. Maas. I've been wanting to get to this one for so long now, ever since I finished A Court of Frost and Starlight. And I just haven't. I mean, it's huge. It's like 700 and something pages. And I feel like this month would be perfect for it. And I feel like it'll be a quick read regardless, because her writing and her characters and the plot and everything always are just so well done that I just fly through them. Also, I believe, I checked and I looked, and it's definitely set in like winteriness, I believe, at least at the beginning of the book that I saw. So that will be my Polar Fantasy and the last prompt fulfilled for Polarthon. Before I go into the next readathons, I just want to say that I do have two books that I am currently reading. So I have Within Ash and Stardust by Channy Lynn Feener. I've been reading this since November. There's nothing wrong with it. I really like the first two books in the series. I gave them both 5 stars. I think I've just had other things at the top of my TBR that I've wanted to get to, and I just haven't picked this up. Not to mention that I've been having a really hard time physically reading things. Like, I'll read stuff on my Kindle app on my phone or listen to audiobooks just fine, But when it comes to physically reading something, I've just been having such a hard time. But I'm a little bit through. I think I've read about 60 pages, and it's not that long. So I'm hoping before Polarthon starts that I can finish this one out. And the second one I'm reading, I've been reading since the beginning of December, and that is Ship of Magic by Robin Hobb. Now, if you've read a Robin Hobb book, then you know that her books are so character driven, and not a lot, I feel like, happens sometimes, and they're very slow moving, but they're so good. She does characters so well, and everyone loves the series, so I am pushing along through it. I have read 169 pages, and it's an 809 page book, so I'm slowly getting through it. I'm hoping to finish this also before Polarthon. We will see. It only took me about 2 days to get that far through it, so I can't imagine why I wouldn't be able to finish this before Polarthon, so yes. Okay, moving on to some of the other readathons that I want to participate in. So the next one I have is actually a month-long readathon for this entire month of February, and it is the Royal Read-A-Thon, and it is hosted by thebeccafowell and Live in Magical Bookland. I recently found Becca's YouTube channel, and I've been watching her videos, and it just so happened that they're having a readathon which they host multiple times throughout the year with like different characters and prompts and stuff. And this month is focusing on animals, I believe. So the first one is Khan, which is Mulan's horse, and that is read a book with a battle or war. Now, I have a ton of fantasy books going on, so any of those can count for that. Next is Thomas O'Malley from the Aristocats. Read a book where two people fall in love. Again, I have a book or two or three or whatever, you know, that can go for that. I'm not going to hold up any books because literally all the books on my TBR can fit for these. Next is Lucifer, which I believe is the cat from Cinderella. And this is a book with a big bad. Any fantasy book. Literally, any fantasy book. Next we have Pluto, and that is a book with a pet or animal. Again, I wasn't going to show a book, but I feel like this one I need to show, but Beasts of Prey by Iona Gray, has to deal with beast, so animal. I'm really excited to get to this, not to mention this month is, Black History Month and Blackathon, so I wanted to make sure I got some Black authors on to my TBR, so I'm glad to have this one on there. Moving on, Raja, which is the tiger from Aladdin, a book set in a country that isn't your own. And they said that like any fantasy that doesn't take place in your country can count for this, so you know, any of my fantasy books will work for that. Next we have Max, which I believe is Prince Eric from The Little Mermaid's dog. And this is read a book set at or beside the sea, and obviously Ship of Magic can fit for that. Next we have Nana, which is the dog from Peter Pan, I believe. Read a book with familial relationships, so like a found family and stuff. Plenty of books for that, but I'll just hold up one just in case. And I'm gonna go with Aurora's End. I really need to finish out this trilogy. Love the first two books, but we have Squad, was it 312, I believe? And they're kind of this found family, and I just absolutely love this. So the last one we have is Simba, and that is read a book with royalty. Now, fantasy books have royalty, so we're just gonna roll with it. But that was all the prompts for the Royal Read-A-Thon that I would also like to participate in, which I believe I can. It's all month long, and I have all kinds of books already on my TBR that can fit into each prompt. So the next readathon I'd like to kind of participate in is Shiftathon, and I believe this is hosted by Sam from thoughtsontomes. But this is from February 16th to the 22nd, and there are 5 prompts. So the first one is read a book with shifters other than werewolves. So I thought, I didn't pick up my book, but if I somehow had time and enough will to read more books than I already have on my TBR, I thought I would read Stray by Rachel Vincent. I've had this book. This is probably the oldest book I have, and I haven't read it yet. And I mean, yikes. Prompt number 2 is to read a book with vampires. So, I mean, I could potentially read the second book in the Crave series by Tracy Wolff. I am pretty sure that there is vampires in them. I don't think I'm wrong about that, but so there's an option. Prompt number 3 is read a book with fair elves. For that, I have A Court of Silver Flames. If I don't finish it for Polarthon, I can finish it for the Shiftathon. Prompt number 4 is read a book with a paranormal creature from a religion. Angels, demons, the jinn, etc. For this, I have a romance book called Midnight with the Devil, I believe, so that could fit for this. And I have another book, Angel's Blood, I believe by Nalini Singh. Nalini Singh? I think that's how you pronounce her name. So I could potentially read either of those. And finally, prompt number 5 is read a book with zombies or ghosts. Now, over here I have Elantris, which I've heard has some kind of zombie aspect. Or, in Saga Volume 1, there is a ghost. So, either or for that. I may or may not participate in that one. If I do, it'll be low-key. And of course, Blackathon is happening this month. I don't know, I already have so many other books on my TBR, but I do have The Beasts of Prey, and then I'd also really like to get to Legendborn by Tracy Dion. I've had this book for a while. The cover is stunning, and I think it's like Arthurian legend retelling, but I've heard really good things about this. I know Olivia from Olivia Reads a Latte loves this series, and I really want to give this a go. So I would like to pick this one up. But other than that, I have a few other books that I need to get on my TBR. There are a good bit of them that are coming through my library app. They're all audiobooks. So the first 2 I want to talk about are Good Girl, Bad Blood by Holly Jackson and As Good as Dead by Holly Jackson. These are the second and third book in the Good Girl's Guide for Murder, which I absolutely loved last year, and I really want to continue on and get this series read. I hear nothing but good things about all the books in this series, so I'm excited to get to these. Also, from my library, I thought I would read the Percy Jackson series, so I have The Lightning Thief and The Sea of Monsters for this month. I got the audiobooks checked out, and I thought I'll read these, get to the next, was it Heroes of Olympus ones, which I've never read, and then Magnus Chase, and then I think Apollo, and so on and so forth. But I really enjoyed these books when I read them the first time, so I thought nice easy read for February. Another book that I am getting the audiobook for, or I have the audiobook for, is My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. I know, ignore the sticker, I haven't taken it off yet, I can't be bothered, but I know that this is very dark and has to deal with, I don't know if it's like a pedophile, I can't remember, something between a teacher and a student, and yeah, so I thought this one will probably most definitely be read this month. And then of course I have Local Woman Missing by, I believe, Mary Kubica. This is a mystery thriller. I also have False Witness by Karen Slaughter, who I absolutely love her books. Another mystery thriller. And then I have The Hunting Wives, something Cobb, I believe, Mary Cobb. I can't remember what the name is of the author, I'm sorry. But this is another mystery thriller that I've heard Gabby from Gabby Reads talk about, and she says really good things about it. So those are books coming from my library that I'm hoping to get to. But if I want to make an already long TBR even longer, I have The Mad Ship by Robin Hobb, which is the second book in the Ship of Magic or Live Ship Traders trilogy. And I figured after that I could take a little break, but then start on this one, because it took me, well, it took me like half a year or plus some to read 3 books from the Assassin's Apprentice trilogy, the Farseer trilogy, and I don't want it to take me that long. I really want to try and catch up to Becca and the Books' Elderling Along. I know I probably won't, but I could still try, so definitely want to try and get this at least started this month. And then I also, after I finish Ship of Magic, I only have 1 book left on my 5-star prediction from last year that I made, and that is Realm Breaker by Victoria Aveyard. I really enjoyed the Red Queen series from her, but this one's another big book, and it's, I mean, granted, it's only like 560 something pages, but it's still another big book, and it's another fantasy series. And I know the second book's coming out this year, so I am really excited to get to this, but it's so big. But I'm super excited. So the goal is to read books I'm excited for right now, because then I enjoy them more. So adding this to the list. And finally, the last book that I think is on this list, of course, you know, there's always a bunch of romance books that I will most definitely read if I feel into it, but I would like to get to the first book in Sherlock Holmes bind-up that I have and I got for Christmas. And the first one is A Study in Scarlet. It's only, I mean, it shouldn't take me long because it's only about 84 pages. Yeah, it's only about 84 pages, and I just really love Sherlock Holmes stories. I love watching the movies and shows and like retellings and books for these, so I definitely want to give the original books a try. That's everything, I think. It's way too much. Will I get to it all? Like I say in every TBR, probably not. But I would really like to try. I really want to just try hard to read as much as I can this month in the shortest month of the year, and I would just be happy. We're gonna see if we can do it. I'm determined. So determined. So I guess stick around and see how this month turns out. And that's everything. So like this video if you liked it, and comment down below telling me some of the books you're excited to read this month, and subscribe if you want to. I'd really greatly appreciate it. And until my next video, I will see you later. Bye.